All right, welcome back.
All right, now.
Okay, yeah, no, it just told me. All right, hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Cinema Smoketography. I'm your friendly neighborhood hookahologist. Joining me today, the one, the only, the Majin.
Majin producer man, Isaac.
What's going on? I'm just getting my bowl started. I literally just got off of work,
Oh,
but Isaac and I wanted to talk about a movie that it just became everywhere all at once, and I was actually super excited to watch it. I was telling Isaac, but he is in school, so he's always busy with something. So I decided to buy us a Nora, and it was great. Sean Baker's Everyone's saying this is Sean Baker's magnum opus. This is his Citizen Kane. What are your thoughts?
um, it was a very interesting movie. Um, the first like 30 seconds of the movie, I'm just like, what the fuck am I watching?
Have you watched a lot of Sean Baker movies?
No, not really.
So I didn't know how to do my research on this because obviously this is a movie not like in our regular wheelhouse. This is not a Marvel movie. This is not a superhero movie. This is not movies that have years of movies to rewatch, right? So what I decided to do after watching Anora, I wanted to get a couple reviews because I wasn't sure how I felt about it. I really liked the movie, but I'm like, what's the deal? And everyone's saying that Sean Baker has this thing where he does movies like this with characters like this. So I'm like, all right, I was interested. So I watched Tangerine, the movie that was filmed all on an iPhone 6. Then I watched The Florida Project and I watched Sonora. So I can see where he gets this like real world kind of perspective of how things are
It
working.
felt like a documentary style type of movie, but at the same time, not really, because like the way it was clear cut, like you could tell. But I think it's a very interesting premise because it's literally like a once in a lifetime Cinderella story for a girl who's pretty much, you know, pretty much
A
a
sex worker,
stripper,
yeah.
a sex worker,
Yeah.
a stripper,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, and and you can't help, but it's a very interesting premise. Like I've never seen the way the movie was like conducted, the way it was acted, like I could not stand Yvonne.
I liked Yvonne until like the second half of the movie.
And
Like
she's
after they get Toros
like,
involved, like it was crazy.
yeah, he was I mean, it was like a fun, like it's balls to the walls nonstop the entire time until you get to the end, till you get to the third act where everything happens and everything goes to shit. And like,
Oh yeah, that's such a crazy like but because I've noticed this in Sean Baker movies that and granted I've only seen three. He has like seven of them
mhm.
out right now. But the thing with the Nora, and I guess this is Sean Baker's thing, like I've heard a lot of people say this too, is that he focuses on real world characters and how they're so layered throughout everything, with the exception of the mom in the Florida Project, because she's just a shitty mom.
Actually, so you know what's funny? So actually, this movie, the way it's filmed, the way it's like done, it kind of reminded me of The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like how
I
it's
get
filmed.
that. And you know what? It's so crazy because I was so hyped about this movie. Like I told my mom to go watch it. So I have my mom uses my Amazon Prime account. So she watched it. She texts me, she's like, "What kind of bullshit ending is this?" I'm like, "It's a real life movie, mom. Like it's crazy."
Yeah, yeah, it's
But I
crazy.
think Yvonne's probably my favorite character until the end.
And like honestly, like you gotta feel for the fact that, like especially with the whole ending of with Igor and Honora and how it ended. And
Dude, so I really it subverted my expectations really well because I thought they were gonna end up being together, right? Because
which
she gives up
technically
like,
it hinted, but it's more like subject to whatever you want to believe happened. Because in reality, like you can tell how impressed he was with her after that right hook.
oh, dude, fuck yeah. I think the scene where she's beating them up is the best scene of the movie. They're like, "You were
It's
stopped by a
it's
little
the
girl.
movie's really funny.
She's not fighting." Like,
It's really
yeah, it's
funny.
surprisingly funny. It's surprisingly funny.
And
Like, and it was a box of emotions like throughout the whole thing.
yeah, like it was just like, you don't know what's gonna happen because everybody's just on drugs and fucking alcohol and fucking everything, and it's a giant high the entire time. And it's just like, because
Oh
like I said,
yeah.
it's beautifully filmed. It's interesting how it's done because the way it's like all the characters are like,
They're
they're all
they're
most of the
layered,
characters are Russian, which is hilarious because it takes place in New York City, but yet I was like, I've never seen so many fucking Russians in New York City.
right? Like it's just it's so crazy to see like how that whole scenario even played out, right? How
Mhm.
she met this guy because he wanted a Russian person to speak, and then she ended up going to his place the next day. Like
Mhm.
it was a lot to take in. So like I was watching it's a 2 hour movie. Like
Okay,
it took
here's what
me
I will
to
say about this though. I do not think it needed to be 2 hours.
I agree. I totally agree because I started it thinking it was gonna because most of his movies are like an hour and a half, right? So it was a long movie and it drags on in places, I want to say. Like
Yes, and I think what
there's just
drags on the
the
most is the wild goose chase of finding Yvonne. And like it didn't
yeah,
need
because
to be as
I
long as
really
it did
thought,
not need to be as long as it was. Sense of like, but
oh
I get
yeah,
it. It's for the purpose of the fact that, they went to every single spot that's been hinted out throughout the movie that was being seen and all the places. Because where can
right.
you go that you've only ever spent time with the person for 2 weeks? There's not a lot of places that you could backtrack to.
Right. So and it's like a rush thing and she's trying to hold on to the marriage and the lifestyle she now has. And it's so crazy because I thought these guys were going to be Russian mobsters, to be quite honest with you. Because how the trailers make it seem like you don't know this guy, like it makes him seem like he's dangerous, right? But he's just a fucking
He's a
nepo
child.
baby.
He's a man child. Yeah.
What comes to like, it comes to like with people who get a lot of money young, like they're mentally stunted because of this, right? Because they can have
Yeah, but
anything
look at
they
his
want.
parents though. Like,
His parents were fucking assholes.
and it's just crazy, like the whole premise of it all, just like, holy shit, because people like this exist, you know?
Yeah, like it's so crazy, like how he has all this wealth and everything, but it's not his. He has to go work for it now. Like, and then he keeps saying that his parents are assholes. I didn't think they were that bad, to be quite honest. But that how they constantly look down on her for being a stripper and an escort
Yeah,
or
but
whatever the
clearly
fuck
the
it
mom
is.
has the pants in the relationship in terms of how things are done. His dad just has the money.
Oh yeah. But
But
my favorite like line in the movie was when they're getting the marriage annulled in
yeah,
Vegas.
and then the whole my favorite line is the part about when they're about to end. They're about Igor's about to take her onto the plane, and she talks about how she's like, "Well, your son hates you so much that he married me just to spite you."
Right? Like that's so that was
And the
so
dad
funny.
just laughing
And the
his
dad
ass
just
off in the
busts up
background.
and laughs. He's enjoying every minute of it because you know what? Like the dad was super chill. He's like, "All right, this is stupid. Let's figure it out. Let's try to get this annulled." Maybe they're like, because I think if the dad like really listened, I think he would let it stay. But the mom was like, "Fuck this, fuck you. You're not doing it. You're not marrying my son." And then she insults her Russian. I'm like, bro, that's crazy. At least she's trying.
But yeah,
It made
no.
me feel for made me feel for her because I really wanted her to like I really wanted it to work out in their marriage. They're like, okay, he just has to go now. She has to go to Russia and live that life, right? And she has to be the wife of a guy who works now. But no, of course not. Ivan's like, we're getting this annulled. Like this was fun. This is like this makes me think this is not the first time he's done something like this.
It made me
You know what I
wonder
mean?
too
Like this
because
isn't the
of the
first
fact
time.
that, especially with with the Armenian freaking priest and all the other and the other guy too that always has it says that this is what he does. He does shit like this, and the fact that the even Igor said it himself that he felt like Honora was owed an apology from Ivan or Ivan. Yet the
Yeah.
mother said,
Well,
"My
she
son, my
yes,
son has no reason to apologize."
which is bullshit because he literally led this woman on to think that she was going to be like his wife, right? Like she's going to be taken care of now. But turns out, joke's on you, bitch. Like that ain't happening.
And she almost could have had her way too if it wasn't for all the threats of the fact that, she said like, "Oh, I'm entitled to half." But like
Half of
realistic,
nothing is still nothing. Half of
and
nothing is still nothing. He has nothing.
exactly. So like in
Everything he
reality,
has is his parents.
exactly. So then either way, like realistically, he literally had nothing to his name, just his to his
Yeah.
feet. So.
No, and I really thought like it was gonna end like with Yvonne like staying in America and then having to work a dead end job with Honora. But like, yeah, maybe because I think she generally really cared for him. I think yeah, she was caught up in the money, but I think like deep down she really started to like you can see that she really started to like this guy. You know what I mean? Like if he didn't have the money, I'm pretty sure she still would have stayed. She would have went back to stripping, but she would have stayed.
Bro, there was like I count like 9 sex scenes.
Dude, for real, like every other minute it was a sex scene in the first half. I'm
Yeah,
like,
like
bro, this is basically a porno. Like, what is this? Am I watching soft porn? Like, what
it's
am
a
I watching?
softcore porno,
Yeah,
essentially.
like
It's a porno with
100%. Like,
plot. It's a porno with plot.
it's a porno with plot. That's like the equivalent. Like, I watch porn for the stories, man, not for the sex.
Yeah, no, I came for the sex, but I stayed for the story.
I came for the sex and I stayed for the story is wild. But no, like this is probably like in all honesty, not something that we normally watch for the podcast. But it is these are movies that me and you actually do enjoy, which is that's just why I really wanted to cover it because it's like super out of our wheelhouse. And let's face it, we cover the same kind of movies all the time.
Yeah.
Superhero was super popular. So this and what's crazy is that this movie got so many awards and so much praise that it got re-released in theaters.
Yeah, no, it's got an Oscar nomination.
Yeah, dude, and if rightfully so. Everyone's saying like this is Sean Baker's like time to shine because he's been doing movies like this for a while. I think the one right before this was Red Rocket. Ironically, a story about a porn star trying to get back into the business. That's a like it's like I said, I did a lot of watching of his other movies to see like how this all came to be, and I get where everyone's saying like, oh, he really focuses on layered characters like this because you watch some of his other movies, their protagonists are like super layered.
Hmm.
Like in Tangerine, like the he's we're literally following this granny who just got out of jail, searching for her pimp boyfriend who is cheating on her apparently. And that one was kind of hard to watch, like just in general. And then I realized it was in LA once I saw the Hollywood like walk. I'm like, oh shit, I know where some of these places are because I live there. It's crazy. Yeah. So
No,
I don't know. Like this is probably a really good like this is a movie that I do recommend to people because it's very it's very different, right? If you like cinema, like this is a good like you said it before. It's beautifully shot, right? The scenery, the everything that's blocking, and there's a little bit something for everybody. It's a comedy, it's a romance, it's a porno for all the perverts, right? Like it's got a little bit of everything.
yeah, for sure.
Like I think, and the what we really need to talk about is the ending, right? Because the ending is what everybody is talking about and how layered it really is, right? Because Honora gets the ring back from Igor, and then she feels like she like this is all she knows, right? So she's not what's the word? How do I put it? Like she's expecting nothing other than the money that she was promised, right? But someone showed her an actual sign of kindness, and for her, her reaction is to, oh, you're giving me something, you want something from me, right? But Igor was really just trying to be the nice guy, and be like, hey, here is your ring.
Yeah, which he's
I know
actually
you
shown her
wanted
nothing
it.
but kindness this entire time. Besides the whole debacle with in the house, obviously, but he didn't really do anything to physically hurt her. If anything, she was fucking beating them all up. Like he never wanted to hurt her in the first place, which he actually didn't. But the entire time he's actually had her back this entire time.
The whole time, exactly. Like searching, he's doing things out of kindness because he feels for her, right? And she doesn't know how to react to that. She's like, "Fuck you! You only want one thing from me. You want me for my body." So when he like the scene, like it just the ending was very awkward to see, and then at the end where she's breaking down and he doesn't do anything besides hug her and embrace her, like that was to me that was super powerful because like that's a realistic fucking ending to any movie that we ever see. And it
Mhm.
really comes down to like what happens in that situation, right? Like how does one even react to something like that?
Especially when you got your dick in her.
Yeah, 100%. Like he's like, I didn't want. You can tell he didn't want anything other than just for her to be happy. At the end of it, like he would probably like it. Just turns out like all right, here's your stuff. Here you go. Oh, by the way, I stole this. Don't tell Toros, but I stole the ring back for you. And he didn't want anything in return other than just for her to live her life.
Yeah, for sure. No, it was a pretty solid movie. You know, I give
Yeah,
it
dude,
five.
100%. It was like, oh, what do you give it? What do you give
I
it?
give it five Dragon Balls out of seven.
Ooh, five Dragon Balls out of seven. That's, you know what? I want to give it six. Like it was a real. It was fun to watch. Like it would, if it wasn't so long, I think I'd give
I
it a
think
full
it's what
seven.
it being so. I had to put pause a couple times because it was a little much at times in terms of like pacing.
Oh
Where it
yeah,
was,
pacing's trash.
I
Patient is trash.
I was not a
Like
fan of
it's
the pacing of the story in terms of like it was good in the beginning, but then it started falling off a little bit and dragging on a little too much, especially with everything going on. And like the thing that
yeah.
sucks is like everyone's like I wouldn't say everyone's so incredibly unlikable, but like it's really
It
hard to
was
pull. It's really hard to pull for people when they're all every single one of them is like a piece of shit.
they all were kind of shitty characters. Like let's face it. Like even Honora is not like the perfect protagonist. And I think that's like the charm of it, right? Is because again, keep saying that it's a realistic kind of movie because realistically, like that's how some of those people are, right? They just think they're out there to get whatever's theirs. It was like it was very, very realistic. I think that's why I liked it so much is because it's like an honest story where, we're not dragged in by over complicated plots or twists. It's just this is the real life situation put into film form.
I don't know, man.
It's
The trailer
real
made it seem like
unrealistic.
somebody was gonna get murdered.
Right? Like I thought someone was gonna die. They were gonna fight a fucking murder, like
Trailer is the
Yvonne, like
biggest
at the
red
end.
herring ever. Made you believe one thing, but in reality, it's nothing even like it, like what I saw in the trailer.
Right. And that's what I think was the best part about it. Like it was I had very low expectations going into the movie because I didn't know what to expect, right? I'm like, all right, it's gonna be everyone was saying it was like it makes Pretty Woman look like a Disney movie. Ironically, Pretty Woman was a Disney movie, right? But everyone's saying she's a Disney princess. I'm like, really? Oh, is she really a princess? She's kind of a bitch.
Oh, I didn't think about it that way. Essentially, is Pretty Woman premise of Pretty Woman.
Yeah, yeah, it's a modern day Pretty Woman, right? Because I think Pretty Woman was like a 2 hour
It's a
movie too.
combination of like a modern day Pretty Woman and a modern day Cinderella story.
Yeah, like it's a
Except this
perfect
doesn't have a
combination
bad.
of the
Except
two, I
this has a
think.
bad ending, not a good ending.
Yeah, this has like it.
In terms of realistically speaking, this is not a happy ending.
Oh, this is the worst fucking ending. Like she has to go back to her old life. She
Hmm.
can't go back to her old stripper job because they had a big ass fight scene in there too.
At least she has that fucking 6 carat diamond that's worth like hella money to fucking pawn.
Yeah, she's like, I want a 4 carat ring. How about five? I'm like, well, damn, bitch. Like, I didn't know you had that kind of money. I
Mhm.
just really like his English was so bad. It's hilarious. I think that's what made Yvonne like such a funny character. He was a real good supporting character. I think he's getting an Oscar for that one. Well, he's nominated for it, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, you know what's coming out next month?
Hmm.
A Brave New World.
I thought it was I thought it was called New World Order.
New World Order. It's gonna be like that's gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah,
And
no,
then
it
we're
comes
going
out on
back to our
Valentine's
regular
Day.
scheduled
It comes out
programming.
on Valentine's Day. You gonna bring a date?
Uh no. No, okay, you know what? Like when it comes down to it, like I'll go on if I take a girl to a movie, it's gonna be and it's a movie I really want to see. I am watching the movie 3 days before a date, so I'm not like but I'm focused with my date, not focused on the movie. Because you see me in movies, I'm like this. I'm like I'm listening, I'm watching every aspect to it. That's why like anytime like I would be in a relationship, they're like, "Oh, do you want to go see this movie?" "Oh yeah, yeah." They have to ask, "Did you already see the movie?" No, no,
Yeah, no, I like to
knowing
cover
damn well me and you already seen it.
Captain America, the new Captain America movie, really cool. I also want to cover
Yeah,
A Different Man.
a different man.
Mhm. That
Okay. No,
the
because we're gonna do because we're doing on Sunday. We're recording the Batman, the one we've really been wanting to talk about on
we're
this
doing a
goddamn
rewind,
podcast.
right? A rewind.
Yeah, we're going back a little bit because I've always wanted to talk about this movie on the podcast. I know you have too
I
because
thought we
you're a big
did.
Batman fan.
We did.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we
We did
did.
not.
Yes, we did, but it got
No, we did
lost.
not.
It got lost.
Did we?
Yeah, it got lost.
Oh, you know it was on the camera that got stolen. That's right.
Yeah, it got lost. It was on there, but we lost all your data. You lost a lot of data and all the stuff that you had on the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, that's right. So guess what, guys? We're finally getting the podcast redone. We're rewinding.
We're doing our
Oh, that's
first
right. We
read.
did do it.
Yeah,
We did do it because the audio never cleared, so it was just a lost media.
yeah, rewind. We're doing a rewind. Um,
Yeah,
but
and
yeah,
we got
I'm
our
down to do a
first we
different.
got
I'm
our
down to
first
do the
guest.
next three since we're doing the Batman on Sunday anyway. I would like to watch A
Yeah.
Different Man also and get that sorted out of the way. At least watch it, and then we can just cover it whenever. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's on Max,
Okay, perfect.
and then
That's even better.
and then we could do Captain America also. Just
Yeah. So February is going to be pretty booked.
yeah, I think two. I would say two. One at the end of January coming up, which is on
Yeah,
Sunday.
so I think we're gonna record this one. It's got to go out next week, and then the I think the Batman will come the following week after that.
Yeah, and then that'll be the 1st of February for that, and then we'll watch A Different Man whenever we both have a chance to do so, and then we'll record that one, and then we'll watch either we record that one and then wait, depending on timing,
Hmm.
because of Captain
Right.
America. So you could have that one
Hmm.
too, just as a backup plan, and then we could just record, except put in whatever one for each one for whatever day, because we could do
Right.
day of, or not day of, or whatever that weekend.
Yeah, yeah, that weekend we go see it because I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go see it, and then yeah, that seems pretty easy, guys. Also, keep in mind, like we have our comments open all the time. What movies do you want us to cover? Because let's face it, me and Isaac tend to forget what movies we want to cover. So please, someone give us a suggestion.
Yeah, because
And if you got a good musical for Isaac to watch, because he hates musicals, we're gonna get him to do that. Because I did Star Trek.
oh, that's right. Yeah, but that was a poll win though.
That was a pull. That was like I still say we should have released it on May 4th, just for the meme.
Well, we're not done yet though. You could watch the other Star Trek movies.
Like, put a release on May 4th. You know what? Give me the 500 likes. I'll watch the Revenge of Khan, and we'll release it on May 4th. It will be scheduled for May 4th.
That'd be pretty funny.
That would be fucking hilarious. Because I like the newer Star Trek. I'm probably gonna hate the older one.
I don't know. It'd be actually kind of funny to do a like a live recording of a watch along of the rat, and then
Oh shit! The Wrath of Khan.
see your reactions of like how
Oh my
fucking
god!
because you could just record it with
I'm
your
gonna be
iPhone.
yelling at the
You can just
screen.
record it with your iPhone.
Yeah, I can. I can record it with my iPhone, and then we'll watch it together. You'll be right next to me. But hey, look. I'm like,
Yeah,
fuck you.
and
You
then
didn't
what you
even
could
think.
do, all you could do is just put it on your computer since you have a Mac anyway, and then you could just clip whatever like
Right.
the highlighted moments of the whole entire thing instead of having it be like 2 hours long. You just cut all the best parts because obviously there's gonna be times where we're not talking, we're not doing anything, so you can cut that shit out. But when there's funny ass moments of like reactions, you could just clip that of different things.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty funny. Actually, we're giving ourselves a lot of. We're doing 2025 is going to be the year of our podcast, guys. We're finally going to be able to get monetized. Probably
Yeah.
never get monetized because I'm smoking every time, but
And then
still,
Daredevil Born
you
Again
know.
comes out soon too, so that should be cool. You see the trailer?
Oh yeah, Daredevil. Yeah, I seen the trailer. It looks fucking badass. I like the Daredevil series. It's so dark and gritty. It's fucking awesome.
It's what Moon Knight should have been.
Okay, so I liked Moon Knight. I thought it was pretty well done.
Yeah, I know, but
It's
like
not. it's not as like true to the characters I want it to be, but it was still a
No,
good
but here's the
show.
thing though, and I think this is all because of the fact that Daredevil Born Again is actually a perfect example of now the the weights, everything's taken off you know, because Moon Knight during the early
Mm.
stages of, you know, Captain America, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, you know, the peak, you know, WandaVision, the peak of like 4 or 5 episodes of 4 or 5 seasons of what we got for the Marvel TV shows in the beginning, they were kind of playing it safe in
Hmm.
terms of what they can and can't do and want to do. But I feel like
Hmm.
now in this next phase that we're in, especially with Daredevil Born Again coming, especially with all the violence they're actually showing, I feel like now they're comfortable
We can
enough
get
to,
a true adaptation.
yeah, we could probably get a true if we were to get a true like a second season of Moon Knight, we could probably get more of a comic book accurate version of Moon Knight.
Yeah, no, you're probably right on that one.
Even though we're going so far fetched off of what we're talking about when it comes to Anora, but yeah, anyways.
I know we literally, but to be fair, we always do this. We do this at least once a podcast. We go on a tangent.
Yeah.
No, but other than, I highly recommend Nora. I think this is a movie that if you like something that's a little bit more grounded and not necessarily a super action film or anything like that, this is like the perfect movie.
So here's the thing for me is like I liked it, but I probably never watched it again.
It's like a one and done kind of thing.
Yeah.
I felt the same way with Blink Twice. I thought it was a great movie. Don't think I'll watch it again.
Yeah, no, and I own it too.
You owned it.
I own it too. So like,
Uh, it was a good movie. It was a real interesting tale. But guys, that's all we have for this podcast. Thank you for joining us as always. We always appreciate it. Isaac's got to try to fight Bobbity and try to get his freedom back.
let me I've been trying to see because I haven't done it on my computer before, so I want to see what happens with that since I can stop